What is up, everyone? It's Noops here with another video, and today I'm going to be talking to you about a little bit of tricks and tips for DK's Treetop Temple speedrunning. So this is something I've wanted to do for a while, give you guys some tips and tricks on how I speedrun this game, and maybe if you're interested in Mario Party 8 speedrunning, but if you are, stop being interested. It's not worth it. Nah, I'm just kidding. So, this is more unscripted. I did make a scripted version of this, but I was too lazy to record and edit all that because I'd rather just have actual live gameplay to work with. So I'm gonna go into every single tip and trick. So the first thing about the stage is your first roll. And a big part about going first as opposed to second is the type of candy you get. So the way the stage works with candy is you get one on the very fourth spot. You get this candy right here. And you can get the same candies you can get in first and second, but in first you can get twice candy. In second you can get thrice, bit size, and cash sap candy. You cannot get those three candies in first place. And those three candies, well actually two of those candies, cash sap's not very useful, but bit size and thrice candy are the best candies you can pull. So going second on the stage is not that bad, because you will pick up broken candy most of the time. But in the first 10 stages, you can go from here to here. Sorry, 10 spaces, not stages. And yeah, there's usually a 5 out of 10 chance that you're satisfied with your first roll. And the best first roll is you landing on a blue space. Any of these blue spaces. The DK space, you want to ration, you want to save. The versus space, not that bad entirely, but you do a versus game for 10 coins as opposed to 20. This question mark though, arguably, if you land on it, you want to reset because you lose your 10 coins right away, and that's not worth it. Sometimes if your star is far, like over here, or over here, then you don't have to reset all the time here because you can always land on this challenge spot. But if your star is right here, yeah, definitely reset because you don't want to keep going in a loop because of that. So I'm going to do my first roll. Let's see what we get. We got a 6. That's a DK space, which is usually not good. Sometimes it works out. So we're going to play it through. We're not going to reset. I'm going to try not resetting here. But what DK does is he throws you directly to the star, which is good and all, but when you don't have 20 coins, you typically don't want to land on this. And it turns into a Bowser space. And what Bowser does on the stage is kind of useful, actually. He takes away the star and puts it in a different location, which is helpful most of the time. Sometimes it screws you over. Like one time it happened to me when I was right in front of the star and I was really sad. And sometimes it moves the star right where I need to go. Okay, so now we're up here, which is kind of favorable. Up here is safe from all the bad spots. But one thing you should note, okay, this cannon right here, I'll use the map to show you exactly where it takes you, but this cannon I would not recommend taking, ever, unless you have a 3, because if we go down here, this is where it drops you off. You get a candy, and a 3 lands you on this space, which can be a DK. So if you have 3 here and enough coins afterwards, you should definitely take it. So I have 10 left, so let's see, that's 5, that's 7, and we have 3 spaces left. This does the same thing as this, which is bad. And I would land on a versus, and he only has 7 coins. Not what I want. So you don't want to look at your options here. I'll go back, but yeah, you typically never want to take this cannon unless you can chain stars with it. So I have 10 spaces left, and I have to choose between left and right. Naturally, the star is right here, so obviously I would go left so I can get back to it. And having 10 spaces left, that's actually a pretty good idea because I land right here. Like, a big part about this is knowing where each space is. So like, I know by memory that 4 from here lands me on that question mark or lands me on this blue space. Since I've played the stage so many times, it's the first one and you reset a lot on it. But you also gotta know, from this spot, 8 spaces lands you on that DK Bowser space. That's important to note also. 9 spaces lands you on a challenge spot, and challenge spots you can get 5, 10, or 20 coins. You know, we're gonna go left. And we also have these coin bricks that always give you 1, 5, or 10 coins. Those are always important because it can make a difference of getting 2 coins or 20 coins. So you always want to try to get those. Now Blooper's gonna go, and he's gonna go up. The AI always goes in the direction of the star. There are rare occurrences where they don't. I've seen it happen before, but it just rarely ever happens. You never really need a... You can most of the time assume they will go in the direction of the star. I think I've seen it like once, and I just questioned why they did it, but you know, it's whatever. It happens. So we're gonna roll here. A 4. Okay, that lands me on a red space. But yeah, like I said, this board you should memorize. You should memorize where each space is and how far you are from each space at any given point in time, because that is a lot of help on this stage specifically. Another stage I will say this is helpful on is the Koopa one. The other stages you don't really need to know because you don't have much control of where you're going. But this stage and Koopa stage, you have full control of where you can go. So always know the map. Alright, so we're approaching the star. We have 20 coins. Now let's say I had a Slogo candy. Slogo candy you can roll a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with proper timing. Now I would consider, if Blooper wasn't here, I would consider landing here, so that way you can get more coins. What this question mark does is it takes away one of your candies and exchanges it for coins. But the amount of coins you get depends on the value of the candy. So like any yellow candy minus bit size, that'll get you 10 coins. Bit size, Springo, Cash Zap, Thrice, those will get you 20. And I don't know the other ones. I never really see Shy Guy steal that. But I rolled a 9, and I will say the ultimate goal on the stage is to try and get 40 coins before you attack the stars. So that way you can get what I call a bonus skip. But, you know, if you reach the star with 20 coins, you take it. You don't say no because of that. But like for instance, the next star can spawn to the top right. Oh, it spawned in the middle right. But the top right, if I had 40 coins, I would have been able to chain into that second star and we'd be done. That's why you want to aim for challenge spots a lot. So anytime you can land on a challenge spot, just do it. I would highly recommend it. And versus spots, versus spots, depending on your time, like if you're past 5 minutes, I would try... No, since this is the first stage, if you're past 6 minutes, I would recommend avoiding versus spots. But definitely reset if your opponent lands on a versus and challenges you to a 0 coin minigame. That's a waste of time, and you can reset on the DK stage since it's the very first stage of the game and you won't lose. Alright, so we won the minigame, and after we win a minigame, that's when we can steal coins from our opponent, obviously. When you are the challenger, your options are 5, 10, and 20 coins. When you are being challenged, then your options are 1, 5, or 10 coins. And you need to know how to time your dart roll. So what I do is when it's at the bottom left, that's when I throw it. When your option that you want is at the bottom left. So I know how to do it instantly. I have great reaction time. Like right there, the 20 was at the bottom left. And I'm used to that spin. Now Blooper's gonna use a Slogo, and most of the time the AI doesn't know how to use the Slogo candy properly. Like right there, he tried to land on Bowser, but he did one more than he wanted to. This becomes a problem on later stages because the AI figures out how to do it better. But here's the bonus clip I was talking about. And if you get 2 stars in 1 turn, you skip this whole cutscene and you win. Now, you don't want your opponent to have Thrice Candy, but most of the time they will get Thrice Candy from this. And the reason is because, you know, they use it randomly. They most of the time use it the moment they get it. But it takes up a lot of time. And you don't want to deal with that a lot. Alright, so Let's see, the star's at the middle right, and normally I'm gonna reset here because I want to get more into better scenarios. There's like no scenario here where I can demonstrate anything, but this is the worst star spawn by far. Unless it's the first spawn, in which you would land on a versus, steal 10 coins from your opponent, and get it on the next turn. But it's hard to chain stars with this one. So you typically want your first star spawn to be right here. So I'm gonna reset and hope for a better star spawn. Alright, here we go on the second board. And you'll know if the star spawn's at the top left or middle top, or right at the start, because the star space will be there upon the opening cutscene. But we didn't see the star space at all, so that means the star either spawns on the top right or the middle right. Knowing where the star spawns doesn't do anything, but it allows you to plan ahead a little bit. So, you know, if the star spawns at the top right, we don't have to reset for early shenanigans. But if it spawns in the middle right, you gotta hope for versus, otherwise you should just reset. Like here. You don't want to go past that star without getting it, so you gotta hope for a versus. So, you know, hopefully either I can land a 9 or my opponent can land a 9. But I got DK, so I would reset here, mainly because you lose a valid DK space and you have to go all the way back around. There's no point in continuing a run at that point. Alright, here we go on attempt 3. I didn't get to show you guys an attempt with the top left. Maybe I'll do another attempt, but you can see right there is the star spawn. So that does show up. That's not a terrible star spawn, it's just that star doesn't really chain into a second star that easily unless you have a thrice or twice candy, but it does chain into a DK space, so that's something to keep an eye out for. Alright, so we're going first again, so I can't really demo me pulling a good candy, but this is why I typically reset when I roll an 8 right away. I don't know if you guys have seen one of my very old videos where I just reset every time I get an 8. I'll actually put that in the description for you guys to see, but it's really old, and that's why. I have 0 coins, I have nothing to work with. But right now I'm not going to reset, because I can pull a candy, I can land a challenge spot, and I would just get 20 coins and it wouldn't matter. But most of the time, if you can't recover from this, you should just reset. And you'll know if you can't recover or not. But look at what I just pulled. I pulled Bit Size, the most broken candy in the game. Bit Size, basically, when you use it, every space you travel, you get 3 coins. So that's why it's the best. And you gotta hope that you pull it, and then most of the time I would recommend using it right away. Like this is an example of when I'd use it right away, because it makes a difference of 3 versus 30 coins, because you get 3 coins per space. So let's see, I got a 1, so this bit size was useless to me, so therefore I reset, because all I have is 3 coins and stars right at the bottom. So I'll do one more attempt for a demo. But bit size, one thing you should note, it's a really rare pull that you can only get when you're in second place. You can never pull this in first place. So I actually reset a couple times trying to get the star to spawn to the top left, and you know, at this point I'm kind of annoyed with having to keep resetting, so I'm just going to leave it as is and try to do a demo run with you guys. So this time around I'm going to go second. So hopefully I can pull something big at the beginning, but I can only pull something big if Waluigi lands on a blue space. And oh, the star spawns in the middle right, which is the least flexible star. But let's see if we can work with this. What's Waluigi gonna do? Alright, he landed on the blue space. So that gives us a good opportunity to pick up some insane candy. But he picked up Bolo candy, which is a big problem considering we need all the coins we can get, and if he hits us, yeah, he can't hit us when we get DK, but if he hits us, he can have enough coins for the star. Now I pulled Thrice Candy, and Thrice Candy is a gift. It's the best candy you can pull besides Bit Size, because it allows you to chain into 2 different stars. So we're going to try and hold that for as long as possible. But we're not going to reset just now since we have that candy. Like normally I would reset if I land on a DK and have a useless candy, But this time around, we have something we can work with. Now, it also works out because of this. We don't get affected by this, but if we land on a versus, we have to verse him for 3 coins, which I would consider something I would reset for, because it's just a waste of time. And we didn't, but we did land on a red space, which isn't very good. See, now he landed on a versus, so that's when we reset. Alright, this is the last attempt I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna end the video. So, let's see if we can get a better star spawn. It doesn't look like we're gonna get a better star spawn. And Mario's going first, I'm going second. Now the star spawn on the top right this time, which means we can work any direction we want to go. We can go up or right, and it won't matter that much. Because we do have a cannon. We have the cannon that takes us to the top left of the stage. And this time Mario pulled slow-go candy, so there's no threat of us getting in front of him. But we got DK again, which is useless. But luckily we pulled the thrust candy. Now this is a time where landing on Bowser is not such a bad option, because the top right star is a pretty bad spawn when you pass it and don't have enough coins. Because we have to go all the way back around. And once again we get out of the way of the monkeys. Now see, the thing is, if we land a 5, we get a challenge space. If we land a 4, we get a Bowser. But we landed a 2, we gain coins, can't really complain when you land on a blue space. And he landed on a challenge spot, which means if he wins, he might get 20 coins, and that makes versus viable once again. So yeah, there you go, he won. He got 5 coins. The AI doesn't really know how to time this well. So this is, I would say, is RNG completely. And yeah, so now we need to roll 3, hope for that challenge spot. We rolled a 4, doesn't really do much. And we get a 1 from that, so we're in a heap of trouble. But we may as well say yes to this, because I'm just going to show you where this takes you. And this is a cannon you should usually consider taking if there's a star on the top of the screen, because it always takes you up here. I usually wouldn't recommend taking it when you don't have enough coins for the star and the cannon like I just did, but there are circumstances where it won't matter. The good part is, we're right next to a candy now, so this is not such a bad spot with not enough coins, because you can just pick this up and hope for something better. Like, I just picked up slow-go, and I don't really want to give away my thrice candy, but if I land on this question mark ahead of me and trade it in, I get 20 coins, which is a big deal. And I might have to take that option right now, considering I'm about to pass the star once again. But another option I have is to land on the Bowser space, but I don't think I'm going to do that now that I just saw Mario pull his weekly candy, as I don't want to give him my thrice candy. So I think I'm going to take the option of getting 20 coins. Now to time this, you have to do it either the last frame of 2 numbers before or right before the number. So when it lands on 2, you want to do it. And this is exactly what this does. Stabs you, takes your candy, and gives you coins depending on the value of the candy. And this one's worth 20. So that's a game changer most of the time. A 7. Okay, so knowing what I know about this board, that lands me on a red space going right. But I need to get the star. The only conflict that gives me is when I hit the brick block and get 10 coins, I still can't afford the cannon because of this red space. So if the star does spawn on the top left, we have to hope that we roll a 2 and get a challenge spot. Or that Mario lands a versus and we get some coins in our pocket. But it didn't. It spawned in the worst spot because you can't chain into that ever. Well, you can. I gotta take that back, because if you have the rice candy activated and you get the star on the bottom, then maybe you can chain into it. I don't know. Alright, so Mario got nothing once again. I've been lucky with the bonuses in this video. They usually get something, so you gotta prepare for that. And I never see them really buy anything. That's like the first time I've seen them buy something on this stage. You don't really have to plan for that either. Just take it as Mario has another candy. Do I have to be aware of it or not? That's what you gotta think. Now we just need to get to the middle star. And we got 10 coins there, that's good. So 6. Normally if I had 25 coins, I could take this, because where this drops you off, it drops you at the top left. I have 6 spaces left. Puts you here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So keep that in mind. Anytime you have a 6 left and there's no star here, you will land on this space. And if it's a DK space, that's a game changer. That's something you should definitely keep in mind. That's where knowing the board helps you in the speedrun. But I'm gonna say no, because I don't really want to land on Bowser. And I don't know why he's using Bolo. I think I'm like 10 spaces away from him, to be exact. Oh, I'm actually 9 spaces away from him, but he missed me. So that's good. So if I get a 10 here, we get this second star and we're done, but we landed on a red. Which I guess is fine, but we just picked up Slogo candy. You want to use your Slogo candies to land on spots that are vital for winning. Like, anytime you have a Slogo candy, you should use it on a challenge spot. So let me show you guys the map real quick. Let's say I wasn't about to win, and I use the Slogo candy. I would probably use it to land on this challenge spot so I can get 20 coins, and prepare for a second star, if I had 0 coins. But because the star's right here, I'm gonna use it for my guaranteed win. Now just remember, 5 spaces from this arrow lands you on here. 6 spaces from this arrow when the star is not here lands you here. 5 when the star's not here lands you here. Those are important spaces. This is also an important space because it's also the Shy Guy stabbing you and taking your coins. But you just gotta keep these things in mind. Like I said, my biggest advice for this stage is knowing where each space is. So we're gonna use this to guarantee our win. But yeah, that's my demonstration of how to play the DK stage, and I hope you guys learned a thing or two from this. And if you like the video and want me to make more tips and tricks on speedrunning this game, then comment below. Next thing I do is Goomba's Booty Board Lock, go from there, go to King Boo's, go to Shy Guy, and so on and so forth. But yeah, I have tips and tricks for all of these stages, mainly for dual mode. I have not tried 4-player mode yet, so if I ever do, I'll get to that as well. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hope you all have a good day.